Welcome back for parts 101. Today we are going to be talking about just the tip. So we'll set the cap to the side and set that to the side. So here's the tip. This is the brawn of the Dynavap. This is the muscle. The heavy lifting all happens here. This tip that I'm currently holding is one of the original titanium Omni tips. This is the fourth generation of titanium tip that they had with 7 fins. These are a collector's item at this point. They run really hot. They are pretty easy to combust in. I personally really like this tip as just, a really hot, just one and done sort of situation. The more common tip these days is the 5-fin titanium tip. There are 3 grooves on the top for airflow with a spiral design that comes all the way down. 5 fins for heat. Some O-rings. I mean, the tip is pretty easy. Inside of the tip, there are screens called CCD, which come in 2 different styles. This is a titanium CCD. No big real performance difference between those. And that just goes inside the tip. There are a couple different settings for the CCD, which is why tools like the master key are really useful, because it's got this level here and you can just set the half bowl setting in the tip really easily. Another little hack is if you take the tip, a different tip, if you happen to have 2 tips, you can set the half bowl setting by putting the CCD on there and then clicking the other tip on top of the tip on the bottom, and it's about the same height. With the older tips, that trick doesn't really work. With the newer tips, it does. And that's where you put your flower in the top here, and you put the cap, and the heat transference from the cap to the tip is what makes this hot, which in turn makes your flower hot, which is all the action there. We'll just go over through some of the other stainless steel tips over the years and kind of the progression, show you the progression of the tips. So here you have the first stainless steel M device that was offered to the public. This is a 17M. I have the stem flipped. Stock, this is usually down here, and I put a Simrel spinning mouthpiece on here, making this a really nice, clean looking device. As you can see, this just had 2 air groove channels that wrapped around. This was a pretty restrictive device, very hot for a stainless steel device with a single air port, but we'll get that in the next video. So yeah, 17. Moving on to 18, they widened the air channel a little bit and kind of made it a double groove situation there, increasing the airflow of the tip a little more. This is a Shadow M. So the finish on this one was something Dynavap did just one and done. It's nitrocarburization, so it's a little different, more similar to what you find on a handgun or something like that. They did encounter some rusting problems with this coating, but that's the 18 tip. It's got 2 little grooves inside of one larger groove is how you can tell the difference there. Then moving on, we have the 19 stainless steel tip. You can tell this one is really where they changed it up and did a zigzag design. Again, sticking with the 5 fins. They did start to step down some of the mass of the fins over the years. As you can see, the 17 is a very rounded, and now the 19 has kind of thinned out. This is an Aurum, their gold one. This is when we started going into the PVD, and this is a 20. So this is a PVD Rosium 20. they kind of went out of the box this year with the fins. Did a more blocky style Technically, it's 5 fins because if you take this bottom part off, there is a fin at the bottom. But it's these 4 chunky, almost double fins, making this a really hot tip, and it holds its heat. They also, actually starting last year on the 19s, they started doing notches at the top to increase airflow down, which was a big change. The 19 is a crowd favorite as far as the stainless steel tips go. A lot of mixed reviews on the 20 as far as stainless steel tips go. For people that like to use the Dynacoil, I've noticed it's really popular. And they carried over the notches on the top, but they did it double, little shallower, but they did it wider for the 20. And that's the 2020 tip. Then we move on to the 2021 tip. This very patterned design with a more crown cutout of the airflows on the top. And they kind of did a medium between the 2020 and the 2019 where they did these more rounded, again, 5-fin rounded tips with these flat kind of geometrically pleasing shapes. And that's the 2021 M stainless steel tip. And then we run up to the 21 Omni tip, where they did a lot of cutouts in the top, this ripple design on the side, which is really nice for captivations. It makes the captivations hold really well. And then this trisected 9-fin design, which makes this a really chunky tip. Drop down the O-rings. Really made this one hot. It's good for torching. I've noticed induction heaters struggle a little bit with this tip. And I've found this is a love it or hate it. There's a lot of people who don't like this tip, and there's a lot of people that love this tip. I haven't really seen a lot of middle ground that's just like, you know, it's okay. Personally, with a torch, I think it does really well. Something a user on the Dynavap Discord did that was really cool was he actually modified an Omni tip and drilled out and bored out all of the tri-sections, making it this cool custom 9-fin tip. That was a really fun thing to receive. You know, just showing how great the community is and a lot of ingenuity there. And I think that about wraps it up for tips. Feel free to drop any questions in the comments and we'll get those answered for you. Other than that, stay lifted.